Hey everyone, it's Wacko. Welcome you to a new draft recap of SPS Season 10. Last time we had just won Paldex with a rain team, and we've also previously won Season 9 with the team where I had Terapagos, Sneasler, Tapu Lele, Mega Manectric, like that team. I think there's like a Torrentee on that team too, but he's not important. So anyways, we are back for season 10, and this video is actually pretty late. I could have made it like a week and a half ago, but I've been really busy getting ready for school and also SDS, which have to, I don't have to, but I was gonna record a PRs, but I think instead of PRs, I'm just gonna do like a reaction to every team on the SDS doc itself. So just get like my raw thoughts, but I'm not gonna sit there and rank everything. I might give like a letter grade or like or I would make like these suggestions to make the team better, but either way, this is SPS. And for this draft I got, I believe, third pick. And we are using the megas that were introduced in Champions, so they have their abilities. We know potential move pool changes. However, we did not implement move changes itself. Um, so like moves that were buffed and nerfed, like first impression being 100 base power, that is not a change that we have yet to make. Because we are still using we're still using the Scarlet and Violet engine with Champions Megas added to it, and we are allowing the move pool additions rather than like the move changes itself. When we are also not using Terra. One other thing to note is this: we allowed double megas this season, which not many people did, but I think I considered it. Um, but spoiler alert, I did not do so because my first pick, I got the Mega Delphox. So I really wanted Mega Starmie, but every league that I've seen and am playing in right now, Mega Starmie is the first mon to get picked in every division. Like pretty much in everything that I've seen, Mega Starmie is always like the first pick to go. And I've already used Mega Greninja. Uh, Mind you, I guess it was with Torrent, but I kind of preferred Torrent Gran over like Protein in some instances. And I did technically use Torrent Grin like the last week of the ZA tour because the abilities got announced and then they changed stuff and I couldn't really change stuff back, so the person using Mega Delphox could not use their Psychic Terrain expanding force bullshit with their Delphox. And I couldn't use Torrent Gren. I was stuck with Protein, but either way, I've already used Mega Gren and it was alright, but I want to try something else. This would have been my opportunity actually to use Iron Valiant because I have not played like a normal season with Iron Valiant yet. I think my only experience using Iron Valiant so far is one of the Cucumber Cups where um I picked up Iron Valiant after one of my wins. Because it was like you steal Pokemon from from the other person's team, and Iron Valiant was like one of the last Pokemon I stole, but I only used it in like one or two games, and I'm pretty sure it did like pretty much nothing in either of those games. Um, so there's that. But here we have Mega Delphox. Um, Hopefully the moves are correct. I think Delphox gets screens, doesn't it? Um, I don't want to. I think it gets screens. I'll look afterwards. There's some stuff here that I'm missing because I have yet to put in all of the moves for like all the Pokemon. So if you're using my prep doc, I'm sorry that it has stuff that is probably wrong and missing. I have just yet had the time to like go through and change stuff, but considering we're still using SV, I felt like not really making like I felt like making a new format like just didn't really make sense just yet. So I wanted to wait a little bit longer before I like made more changes. But anyways, Mega Delphox is an incredible Pokemon. They did not waste a single stat point in this thing. Like they didn't waste anything putting it in attack. I guess they could have put stuff in defense and that would have been nice, but 75 72 isn't the worst thing in the world. And considering it's holding a Mega Stone, like it will live a couple knockoffs from things. Especially if I invest because it's so fast at 134 that I can easily invest in a lot of bulk. Levitate is amazing for it because as a fire type, because I can't hold boots, um, I am weak to rocks, but at least I don't have to worry about spikes, T spikes, or like sticky web, and the teams that would have those. So that's very nice. Also having a ground immunity on a fire type, that isn't like fire flying is just phenomenal. Um, so with that said, it has a lot going for it. I do have to worry about rock, uh, ghost, dark, and water a little bit. I'm not too worried about like water because a lot of water types are like bulky or like slow. And they typically like if I can get a calm mind up, like they're not gonna easily break through me, and I kind of punish them with like grass knot in a lot of cases. So I like that a lot. And yeah, that is my first round pick. And our next pick was Sneasler. So Sneasler is back from season 9. This is a mon that I think actually won me my chip because Red took me down to like Focus Sash. Through a critical hit, by the way. Like I should not have won. If he did not crit me, I would have not have won my chip in season 9. It would have been Red winning, but because he crit me, Sneasler was able to win me the chip. And for that, well, not because of that, but Sneasler deals with things that Delphox doesn't want to deal with very well. Other than ghost types, I suppose, but it deals with dark types very well. Um, and Delphox can kind of deal with the ground types. Sneasler can deal with like rock coverage. Um, and Delphox kind of deals with like the psychic moves that are going to come towards Sneasler. So that's very good. I guess they don't really cover each other in like that many instances, but pairing a good fighting type with this is very good, and it really fills out like my higher end speed tiers. And it gives me a good pivot. And it gets like taunt. It gets T spikes if I want to use T spikes, because I suppose T spikes could be nice for Delphox. I think Delphox gets Hex if I ever wanted to run that as like a coverage move. But usually Belfox, I think Fire Psychic is like good enough in like most instances. My round 3 pick was Palafin. Initially I was gonna pick Palafin as my second round pick, but people kind of convinced me to just pick up Sneasler. I'm like, you know what? Sneasler Mega Delphox is like already like a true core. In the sense of things that they deal with so much with each other, but then I was like, you know what, Palafin's still open as a round 3 pick. I've used Palafin once in Cucumber Cup, and I didn't like it that much, but it was also like my round 1 pick. But I think at this point, now that it's not like the star of the show, like it's, I think I like it a lot better in that instance, and it has really good stats. It's really bulky. 100 HP is really solid, especially with 97 defense, 87 special defense. Like it's pretty bulky on both sides. 100 speed is very phenomenal still, and has 106 special attacks. So if I want to run it as a special attacker, I can. Um, Spoiler alert, because week 1 is not going to get uploaded on the channel because I believe my opponent has just disappeared. And as much as I'd like to extend for a game, I just don't have the time to make an extension. But I did have a special Palafin ready for that team, because their team is just very weak to special attackers. Like I think their average special defense stat was like 70 something, like 75. And right now, like yeah, my average defense stat is like 76, but it'll get patched up pretty soon. Um, but right now, our team is very strong. We have some good pivots. We have 2 Encore users already. Actually, we have Wisp. We have 2 Toxic Mons. I technically we have screens, but I don't think I really want to use Mega Delphox for screens. But regardless, and we have really good speed tiers already. So the next mon I picked was Ursaluna Blood Moon. Now, I really wanted to get Mandibuzz in this spot, However, the person like right before me, I swear to God, like it was the like he pinged me picking Mandibuzz. I was like, well, shit, I can't get Mandibuzz now. And all of my other backups were taken. I was gonna consider Gliscor, as another pivot, but also just a good Fizz-Def wall. It gets Defog, it gets Stealth Rock and Spikes. But that was also gone. Corviknight was gone. Corviknight would have fit this team really well as like a flying resist. But it wasn't open, so my next thought was like I could have maybe grabbed Empoleon, but I was like I already have Palafin and um I didn't want to grab like a second water type like that soon. And I figured I could have got a better steel type because I had better steel types in mind than Empoleon. I think Empoleon also got taken like pretty early, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna grab Ursulina Blood Moon. Um, this is a mon I've never used before because well, reasons. I guess it doesn't really fit a lot of teams because it's a ground type without rocks. But it has really good stats. 113 HP, 120 defense is better than Hippowdon. On the physical side, and on the special side, it's not that bad. 65 special defense isn't great, but paired with its HP stat, like it's kind of like a Melmetal situation where you could just kind of invest in special defense and it'll take some special hits. But the thing I wanted about Ursulina Blood Moon is Blood Moon itself is getting nerfed in Champions, and I kind of wanted to use Ursulina Blood Moon before it got like nerfed. I think Blood Moon got its base power nerfed from like 140 to 130 base power, so we'll see. I'm hoping we'll get to see more Mons pretty soon because I think the first season of Champions is ending, but the regulation is staying the same, so it's gonna be the same Pokemon for another month, but hopefully we get more Pokemon added. It's kind of funny though, the first three Pokemon that are on my team are in Champions currently. Blood Moon is not, but it offered me quite a bit in terms of like a physical wall, a mon that can just click buttons because it has Mind's Eye, which can hit ghost types with the normal moves. Rock and Steel types don't want to deal with the ground moves, other than Corviknight. But I have a really good counter to Corviknight and Mega Delphox. Like Corviknight isn't really gonna want to stay in and like defog hazards or like um start clicking iron defense on me when I have a fucking Delphox in the back. So I think Ursulina Blood Moon fits really well in this team. Um, and my next pick is Togekiss because it was the only flying type that was kind of open that could like defog. I wanted to make sure I grabbed like the best removal I could at this point because Delphox is weak to rocks. I don't have the option to run boots. And while the rest of my team isn't weak to rocks, I think supporting Delphox the best I can is the best thing I could do. Having a fairy type was also helpful, and having a Pokemon that has a decent like special defense stat, um I really wanted a Pokemon that could be like a special wall because I don't want to run Delphox as like a specially defensive like wish passer every week. Not that I'd have to, but like being able to run Delphox like offensively is like the best thing I could do. So I think I think Togekiss fit this team really well. Um, it offers me another Encore Mon actually, as well as Defog. I get dual screens. I get Toxic. It's a good Scarfer if I want to run like Scarf Air Slash and stuff like that. Um, it gets really good coverage as a fairy type. It's one of the fairy types that gets like Fire Blast and like Flamethrower if I wanted to run that. It's a pretty good special attacker again, but my team already has some good special attackers, but I figured Togekiss like wouldn't really hurt this team. And when I was looking at the draft board, I was like, it's either Togekiss or it's gonna be like Noivern, and I don't like Noivern. Noivern is like an awful Pokemon. And I have used Togekiss before, but it was like every time I draft Togekiss, I tend to drop it like early in the season. So I've probably drafted it like 7 times, but I've probably only used it for like maybe 2 full seasons. It was like my first season of draft ever. and then like a draft I did like 4 years ago where it was a really long season, but Togekiss was like my main removal, and I kind of liked it back then, but I haven't used it since Gen 8, so I figured I'd try it again. Our next mon is going to be Tinkaton, so I did actually end up going with Double Fairy. I wanted just another like especially defensive wall. Because my poison type is Sneasler, I didn't really want to double up on poison types particularly, especially when like the steals I wanted were gone, like Corviknight, and I didn't really think Celesteela was like the best fit on my team. Celesteela would have been a great mon if I wasn't worried about getting like a stealth rocker at that point. And I did want like something that could set up rock, so I picked up Tinkaton. It is fundamentally like a lot different than Togekiss, so I didn't really mind picking it up. It's a good specially defensive tank, but the reason I really wanted something like Tinkaton is because it absolutely destroys like Mega Floette. And Mega Floette is one of the new best megas in this game. Considering my poison type is Sneasler, and Delphox, I I think Delphox like low key can lose to Floette if I'm not like super careful. Um, I guess there's ways around Floette with Delphox, but I figured having just a mon that can easily take like a Light of Ruin or a Moonblast and not care about getting like a Moonblast drop because I'm a physical attacker is very good. It has three pretty good abilities with the Mold Breaker, Pickpocket, Own Tempo. I think Own Tempo is decent, is it not? I think Own Tempo is one of those abilities where it ignores Intimidate, if I'm not mistaken. I've also not used Tinkaton before, so it's a common theme across this team where like I have not played a full season with most of these Pokemon except for like Togekiss. Um, Palafin was like an off-season thing, and Sneasler was a Pokemon I picked up like mid-season when I won the chip with it. And Mega Delphox is new. Ursaluna Blood Moon I've never used before. Tinkaton I've drafted like once or twice, but I end up dropping it like pretty not like week one, but like I'll usually drop it in like Grace, but not this time. I think I need to give Tinkaton like a real chance. Because I think it's a Pokemon I'd like, but I just never have had the chance to really use it. And at this, like, it's really expensive too. It used to be a 7 point Pokemon, but now it's like 11 points. But I thought the 11 points was worth it to have a Mon that can beat the Floette. So these are like the main six Pokemon on my team. The rest of the team is there to just kind of like fill out holes that I have. I do have kind of like a grass hole that needs to be filled. Um, like another ground resist would be nice. I don't have anything that resists water or electric. So I actually picked up Belly Bolt next. Belly Bolt is a mon that I've also used in the Cucumber Cup, like last year I think, or maybe it was like 2 years ago. But I haven't used it in like a real draft. But I really like the idea of Bellybolt on this team as a bulky electric pivot because I don't have like the best like slow pivots on this team just yet. A lot of my mons are like really fast, and frail, and I figured having a Bellybolt would be cool. It is weak to ground, but I do have the Mega Delphox and I do have Togekiss to deal with grounds as well as like really offensive water and Palafins, so I figured Bellybolt would fit pretty well. It is another special attacker, but I also didn't really mind that. The main thing I wanted it for was to be a good bulky slow pivot. And when I used Bellybolt last time, like I brought it to almost every game. It was really good with like static, for example, as well. Electromorphosis is also a really good ability. Like if you don't have a good ground type or you don't bring your ground type into me, like eating like an electric move that is charged up from a belly bolt is really difficult. So even though it's meant to be a wall for me, like it is also just a good Pokemon for my team. Next up we have Serena. I just wanted another Mon that had like Rapid Spin, as or just removal in general, as well as like a pivot move and good coverage. And I was like, yeah, Serena is like the best option I have. Superior was taken. I Was Superior taken? Someone told me that they wanted Serp, but I don't actually know if it got picked up. I think it did. I think Superior was taken. Otherwise, I probably would have picked Superior over Serena. Because I don't have the best hazards anyways, so I might as well defog rather than like rapid spin. But having spin and defog isn't like the worst thing in the world, and it allows me to keep up stealth rock in a lot of instances if I can slot Serena on the team. It's just a solid grass type that can eat ground moves and deal with like water and electric types if I'm struggling with those at that point as well. Queenly Majesty is a pretty good ability. Um, because it blocks a lot of priority that could probably kill it. And Serena's a pretty good offensive mon too. It gets a lot of coverage with like triple axle, knockoff, low kick. So it's one of the few grass types that I think just has a lot of stuff going for it. It's just kind of slow and it's not like the bulkiest thing in the world. But I think for me it's like bulky enough, and I'm like, you know what, Serena is a good mon. But I will say though, I am considering changing it to Bramblegast or Delmise. We're gonna see. Someone has Delmise right now, but I told them like, hey, if you want Serena, like, I'm willing to give you Serena for the Delmise. I like Delmise a lot. And spoiler alert, I do not have a ghost type on this team, so I was like, you know what, Delmise is a decent Pokemon. I wouldn't mind using that again. Next up, we have Alolan Persian. So yeah, you can see I don't have a dark type yet, and I am one of those people that will tell you if you don't have a good dark type, like you're kind of asking to lose. And I think for me, Alolan Persian is not like a dark type where I'm like, oh fuck yeah, Alolan Persian. Like now I'm not gonna lose to the psychic types and shit like that. No, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose to like some stored power sweeper this season. It's gonna depend on which one it is because I this was like all I had left. There were some other Pokemon that were there. I believe like Hisui and Quillfish was there. I could have grabbed Obstagoon as well. But I was like, I had Alolan Persian kind of has quite a bit going for it in terms of like its ability with Fur Coat, and it has good moves. It like knock off, you get Parting Shot, Taunt. So it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. And I have used Alolan Persian before. I didn't hate it at all. I thought Alolan Persian was pretty good. So for that, like, I was like, yeah, I guess I'll pick up Alolan Persian, but I wouldn't be surprised if it stayed on my team. I don't be surprised if it doesn't stay on my team because as much as I like Alolan Persian and I want to like Alolan Persian, there's just like some of the problems with its frailty, like on the special side, is my problem, and it's not offensive enough to justify being frail. Um, and if there's a matchup where I need like the dark typing defensively, um, Alolan Persian is just not cutting it, unfortunately. So it might end up going, but one of the reasons I picked it up was because I like them on, and I also kind of liked its speed tier. So we'll see if there's like some swapping I can do around to like fix stuff. But for now, my dark type is Alolan Persian, and our last Pokemon is Drud the Stud, a Pokemon that I have not used since like 2020. But when I did use it, I loved it. Um, I think it's just a Pokemon that is like it's really consistent, to be honest, and it gets a lot of good tools. Um, my ground type doesn't get Stealth Rock, um, or even like my fast Psychic type, because a lot of Psychic types get Stealth Rock too, from what I've noticed. But my only Stealth Rocker is Tinkaton at this point, so I was like, yeah, Druddigon isn't bad. It's a good Fizz tank, even though its stats aren't like that good. It's also a good like physical breaker. Um, it gets a lot of good moves with like sheer force. Like I believe I get Iron Head. I know I get like Gunk Shot or like Poison Jab. It gets a lot of good coverage though. And it has three really good abilities with Mold Breaker, Rough Skin, Sheer Force. So it's just a mon that I was like, you know what? It's kind of cheap, and I'm kind of willing to try it. So why not try it? It's like a diet Garchomp in some instances. It's really slow, but it has really good tools with like Stealth Rock Glare. Um, so yeah, this is our team. But I wouldn't be surprised if at like some point it turned into like Dhelmise, Obstagoon. Because the thing about Obstagoon I like is offensive normals are fucking great. And this is like a good special offensive normal. This is a physical one. But also is like knockoff parting shot. Like this has a lot of the same tools that Persian does, but I am considering changing stuff around for it in the future, and also like bramble gas is an option for me as well. I literally just got done using a bramble gas in SPS, but I like bramble gas. I like Delmise. Um, so if I end up pivoting to like these Pokemon, I'd have to drop Druddigon unfortunately, but that could be for the best. I guess the problem I do have with like making these changes is that I'm removing my other Stealth Rocker, and there's not a good Stealth Rocker at like 3 points. Like I think there's like Crustle, but I don't like Crustle. Um, I don't think Crustle's like a good Pokemon, but there's stuff I could do. I could even do like Quillfish Hisui. Having like an Intimidate Mon is like pretty solid, or I think even like Overquill is open, but I kind of tend to say like if you're not a rain team, like having Hisui and Quillfish is you're probably better off with Hisui and Quillfish than Overquill if you're doing like a balanced team without weather. Um, so it might end up being like Quillfish Hisui. Um, but Obstagoon for like knockoff is also solid. And if I wanted like the extra points, I have like 10 points I could do like um I don't know, I could do like Tyranitar if I wanted to get like a better dark type, but there's not a lot of dark types open, so not something I'm like too worried about, but for now we're sticking with the Serena, the Persian, Alola, and Druddigon, but honestly if y'all have like suggestions for me, um feel free to like leave stuff in the comment. If you have experience using like Alolan Persian, or like Druddigon, Serena, like feel free to like leave something in my comments. And yeah, I will see you guys for week 2. I sincerely doubt that I'll be making a week 1 video, but if anyone is curious, these were the 6 I was bringing week 1: Delphox, Palafin, Ursa, Togekiss, Bellibolt, Serena. Um, those were the guys I was gonna bring, but my opponent just has not responded to shit like all week, so that's very fun. And I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching.